Let us start. I will repeat this mantra. I want you to close your eyes, breathe slowly and deeply after you have closed your eyes, and just feel the presence of the mother and children. Just feel their presence. That's all. Don't ask them anything. Don't say nothing. Just feel their presence, and that's the best what you can do to start our meeting today. Close your eyes, breathe slowly and deeply. And with every single breath, feel their presence in every cell of your body. And then with this mantra, become one with their consciousness. Om Namo Srimatru Sri Aurobindo Sharanam Mama. Thank you. So first about me, I was born in a Gujarati family in Dar es Salaam, Tanzania, Africa. And my father, when the war started, he brought his whole family back to India. He had 11 children, and I was number 9 in the family. My father was a very wealthy man. He was one of East Africa's wealthiest men, and also at that time in India, perhaps one of the wealthiest men in India. And he used to support, exclusively, he was the only one supporting the ashram economically. We did not know as children that. I learned that later from other ashramites, elderly ashramites, that told me that it was your father who funded the ashram, because the ashram did not have any revenues at that time. Now, ashram gets a lot of revenues because we have our own agriculture, we have our dairy farm, all these things. Plus, people give donations to the ashram. So my father used to donate this money to support the ashram. So mother told him to bring his family to the ashram. My father was a very kind, very generous man. I've never seen him abuse anybody or scold anybody or fight with anybody. A very noble person. And I was number 9. The only problem my father had in his life was me. From his 11 children, I was the only difficult child because I would not take orders from him if I did not understand why he wanted me to do something. And I remember that the school teacher, because I was very naughty and I was always the gang leader, all the children followed me. So whenever there was mischief of some trouble, flowers were stolen or fruits were stolen, then they knew that Madhu is behind it. So mother would call me. Anyway, so she had written this letter to my father complaining about me. So my father was very angry, and it was not true what she had written. Anyway, that's not important. So I was arguing with him that no, it's not correct what she did and all that, because she was slapping the children. And so when she came to me, I got up and said, if you slap me, I will go straight to the mother and tell that you slapped me. So she stopped, and she was a European. Her name was Pavita. And she lived in the building next to the ashram. And she was a very, very strict woman. And so my father was scolding me, and I said, but why should I do that? He was telling me to do. He says, because I'm telling you to do so. And I asked my father, why are you telling me that? He said, because I'm your father. And I, as a small boy, I can still remember my own words telling him, but that is not my fault. I didn't ask you to be my father. And he almost blew his mind. This man was a very powerful man. And a small boy telling, it is not my fault that you're my father. But this shows just the spirit that I am. I'm truly the spirit of freedom. And it is very important that you also understand what your personal freedom is, because it's your true identity that you are maintaining with this freedom. I've never seen my father get so angry. He wanted to go to a cane chair that he almost wanted to lift to hit me. It was my mother, my biological mother, who stopped him. And my biological mother took that letter because she knew I was telling the truth, and that this woman was she's mother. And when mother read that letter, and I had gone to the mother, and I told her that this woman had slapped all the children. So that evening, mother had called her in the classroom, and we were playing outside. There's a sand pit there. This is all in the playground in the back. It has changed now, I don't know. And we could hear that woman crying and shouting because mother was disciplining her and telling her that it is not right and all that. So the next day, she sent this letter to my father and all that. And mother read that letter. So she called my parents. And at that time, they had just opened Ashram's first boarding school for children of people who were from Delhi or Calcutta and so on, but who had their businesses to run. So the ashram, they were going in the ashram school, so that these children could sleep in the boarding school. So she told Ravindraji, who was in charge of the first boarding school, it was called the playground boarding school because it's right next to the playground, where now the gymnasium halls are. There was our boarding school, our boarding. And uh, we were several boys downstairs and girls upstairs. So I was among the first. So she told Ravindraji, take Madhu and place there. And she was holding me. And the way I know that I was very small is that I can remember that my head was on mother's lower belly. And she was holding my head like this. And I was holding her like that. And she said to my parents, this, you know, this boy is, you don't know how to educate him. Today, he is my personal son. I will educate him. And I'm taking him away from you. And she says to me, you go with Ravindra's boarding, bring all your things there. So my father and mother started crying, saying, no, but we love him and we want him to come. So mother said, okay, you can go home for lunch. But if your father scolds you or fights with you, you take your bicycle and go back to the boarding. And believe it or not, almost every second week, father would get so angry. Get out of my house, you're not my son. I disinherit you. I'll go to the boarding. I never felt bad. I don't know why. I was so rebellious. So mother brought me up and I spent so much time with her. So to tell you what mother said who I am, I knew it. And she told me, my son, I've always brought you with me every time I've come to earth to help the divine do the work that she and Sri Aurobindo are doing. So sister, you are now here for us. And I was small. So whatever I understood, I said, no problem. I'll do whatever. I love you so much because I had a wonderful relationship with your mother. She was very loving, very loving. She gave me this ring to wear. There's a picture of her inside. I was so small that they had to put something around because they can't make it small so that it will fit. And she said, this is the eternal bond, material bond between you and us, the divine, she and Sri Aurobindo. Wear it always. And she also put this chain around my neck. And ever since that time, she has always looked after me. And when I used to go in the afternoon, I was allowed to go anytime I wanted upstairs to Sri Aurobindo's room and all that. So this was after the passing of Sri Aurobindo. I used to go to his room to meditate, but I never liked meditating. But meditate in the sense I'd go it was beautiful because there are beautiful paintings and there was fantastic atmosphere. And already as a child, I could feel the presence. But for me, it was more a love story than devotion or spirituality, something sacred. No. And so I would go and look. And when I would come out of Shobindo's room, I had to go through a corridor. And the end of the corridor, I could see the mother sitting. Was there in front of her was a hall room like this. So if this corridor is like this, I can see her back that she's sitting there, and all the managers of the ashram, the sadhaks who did all the work, and Pavitrada, Nalinida, Nirodha, Nirodharan, all these people were sitting and doing. There was also Ravindraji. All these people managing. The various departments were there for doing the every afternoon. And when she finished that work, she would get up and then she would go to play tennis. So when I used to see her, so if I had created problems, she would see me. She would say, "Fiston," that means little son. And when she would say that, I knew I'm in trouble. If she said "Fiston" and did like this, "Come here," I knew. So she would laugh when I come. She never scolded, never. She would ask me, "Don't you have something to confess?" I said, "Which confession? Because I've done so many things, you know." So she laughed. She says, "For instance, last night in the library," ooh, I said, "Yes, that's true. We had stolen coconuts in the library. On Saturday and Sunday night, they'll have music in the library, ashram library. On Saturday, Indian music, classical music. On Sunday, Western classical music. So on Sunday, there are not very many people. I used to go as a child. I loved because mother taught me about classical music, and I like to play the piano and all that. Anyway, so on Saturday, when everybody's listening to music in the library, in the back is the garden, and there are coconut trees. And Subodh was one of the boys in the gang, in my gang, small boys like this. He could climb very well. So, and it is dark, it's dangerous, but he would climb, he would throw the coconuts down, and then there was a staircase going up to the librarian who was a German man. His name was Medananda. And on his terrace, on the top of the terrace, he used to dry his matkas, these pots, clay pots, water pots, to dry them in the sun to disinfect them. And it's dark. And we would come from the back stairs, not from his house, but from the stairs from the garden. There were stairs going to his, and we would open up the coconuts and eat, and we threw the fibers in the back alley. There's a small alley behind the library. Now it's a road. But there's so many little children. Somebody in the dark knocked one of the pots and it broke. And we said, "Doesn't matter, he's not there." We finished, we went away, we went home. The next day, he saw his pot broken, and then he sees all these fibers, floor. Then he looks in the back and he sees all these coconuts that we had stolen, that we have eaten. So he went and told the mother. Every time we did something, these people would go to the mother to put us in trouble. So he went and told the mother. The mother knew who was behind it. So she called me. And she tells me, "My son, you guys, you made a mistake." I said, "What mistake?" He said, "You should not have thrown the evidence so near. You should have removed the evidence. But you threw it in the back." So he found out. So I said, "Okay, next time we'll be careful." She said, "Oh, no." She said, "No, my son. Next time you come to me, I give you. You don't have to hide the evidence." So she was a wonderful mother. She is a wonderful mother. Yes, we have to talk about her as present. This is very important that you understand. Try to make Mother and Sri Aurobindo present. Say, she is a wonderful mother. And she looked after me fine. She was wonderful in those days, but she's still there. So she's a wonderful mother, and she was a wonderful mother also when I was a child. She brought me up. And so these people who worked with her, and I used to come and ask, then I would also, when I problems or I had questions, I would go to her and she's working. I said, Mother, can I ask you? I was small. I didn't care she's working. I had questions and she's my mother. So I said, Dush Mera, I used to call her sweet mother. Can I ask you something? She said, sure, my son. So she'd stop working and she'd answer my questions. And at times, I'd be there for a long time. So one day, these sadhaks, after I left, because I'd taken a lot of time, after I left, they were very upset. So one of them asked the mother, they said, Mother, what is this? This little boy, he has all these questions. He comes here, takes all your time, and we are doing this work, which is your work and Sri Aurobindo's work, and he takes all the time away, and the work doesn't get done. Mother got angry. He said to me, he told me this afterwards when I grew up and I was coming from America to visit, and he told me, this was Ravindraji told me this. He says, Mother said, this little boy is more important than all this work and all of you. And so now let's go and play tennis. She said, no, he's important and this work is important, but he's more important. So I said to Ravindraji, why didn't you tell me? I did not know I was disturbing the mother and the work was not getting, because that's just what you're doing. But the mother told them no. And she went out to play tennis. So from that day, everybody started being very, all these people, they never got angry when they saw me coming. So Nirodbaran, I don't know if you know him, he was one of Sri Aurobindo's colleagues, and he was also Sri Aurobindo's doctor. He was a physician, Bengali. And he told me, I was also very close to Nirodbaran and Nolini Dan people. So he said, I'm going to tell you something that mother told about you. I said, tell me. He says, it is very important that you understand this. He says, you remember you used to come and disturb the mother, or you used to talk with the mother and we complain that you are disturbing her. And she says, no, you are more important than the work and them all. So they asked her, I don't know if it was the same, I don't think so the same day, but one day they asked her, they said, Mother, but who is this special boy? And he told me that mother told them that this boy is the spirit of Lord Shri Krishna. And that she brings me to do her and Sri Aurobindo's work every time she comes off. The mother herself later explained to me, so I talked to the mother and I knew who I was somehow from the childhood. So we talked on this subject and mother told me that yes, you are, that is why you are such a rebel. And you are an independent spirit like Lord Shri Krishna. And you are there. And you are, and I used to be a very choleric child. I used to get angry as a child. And I used to hit. So I have broken many teeth and I could have become a dentist without studying dentistry. And the mother would every time say, they would go and complain to the mother that look what Madhusudan has done to our child, the parents. And the child is crying, blood is flowing, and mother would call me. And I would get so angry that I would start crying and rubbing my eyes. And she said, don't rub your eyes, it will damage your eyes. I said, why are you crying? I said, it is unfair. He deserved it, so I hit him. He was wrong, so I hit him. So mother said, no, you should not hit my child. Your hands are for healing, not for hitting. But how can a little boy understand what healing is? But if she said it, then she has reason to say so. And what does it matter what it means? I should not hit, I know, but I could not control. So I said to her mother, so again, 2 weeks later, somebody gets hit, mother will call me, and I'll tell her, yes, I lost control. So she said, look, I have a very good trick. In those days, we used to wear shorts with big pants, shorts with very big pockets, these British shorts. She said, look, you've got big pockets. So every time you get angry, my child, put both your hands in your pocket and keep them there, because if they're in your pocket, they won't hit. I said, good, I'll do. Again, 10 days later or 5 days later, what happened? Didn't you put your hands in your pocket? I said, yes, but after I hit him. She says, no, you have to put it before. But I could not control myself. And then she had explained, I said, why am I so, later when I grew up, so why was I so violent? And even now, why do I get so angry? He said, this is the spirit of Lord Shri Krishna that removes obstacle injustices. And you as a child saw injustice, but you did not know how to deal with the grown-up or mature Lord Shri Krishna. Lord Shri Krishna wouldn't have punched somebody in the face as a child. So mother was a very patient person with me in my childhood. And even now, the relationship I have with the mother is a very, very open, very beautiful relationship where I take the liberty to tell her, no, I won't do it. And then she laughs and she says, okay, we'll see. And then she arranges things in such a way that I have to do it. And then she just smiles and she says, well, I told you, but you are an eternal rebel. And so there's no problem. Keep that spirit. And I truly believe that I was the only purpose of my being on this earth, the only purpose is to do their work and to represent them the best I can in the most sincere and loving way. For me, uh, honesty and all that doesn't exist. Either you are their child, that means there is no such thing as dishonesty and honesty and lies and truth. You are just their child. And I don't like all these moral categories, dishonesty and honest and sincere. And no. I tell them, I can lie so well that even the divine will believe me. The only problem is that I know I'm lying. So I can't make myself believe that it is true, so I don't lie. I said. It's very simple because the mother and Sri Aurobindo, they are present constantly. But you people and humanity did not get the chance to be explained by the mother in person, these things. So that is why I say very often that the mother I knew is not the same mother as what the other ashramites write and talk and speak about. Mother and Sri Aurobindo to me said, no, not the academic knowledge of what they've written and what they've said, not the beauty of his poetry. That's beautiful, that's good, but that's not enough. It is the meaning of it that you have to understand. Not only understand, but apply it. To mother, as a child, I said, what does it mean? How do I apply it? And she said, if you become, and you are, she said, you are Sri Aurobindo's and my consciousness, my child. So you become aware that you are part and particle of me and Sri Aurobindo. And whatever you do it as if we are doing it. Always the right thing to do. So that's why you see there's no right and wrong. You do what Mother and Sri Aurobindo would do, and you know that there is no question of morality, falsehood, or nothing. The divine does only one thing. Because in divinity, in spirituality, in true occultism and so on, there is no black and white. There is no right or wrong. It's all just one beautiful, luminous truth, experience. It's an energy that is totally complete and it's different. It's not like we know that it is day now, it's night now, and things like that. No, soul does not have a brain to have all those comparisons. And the soul does not have evilness in it. It's divine. Because the divine is omnipresent, omniscient, and omnipotent. What does that mean? Omnipresent, that means Mother is with you, but simultaneously Mother is also with him. And at the same time, Mother is also with that child in Australia. Simultaneously, because she's omnipresent, meaning she's present everywhere. She's omniscient, she knows everything. So you don't know something you want to know, just ask the Mother or become a consciousness and you will see that you can understand better. And omnipotent is that Mother's divine energy is all powerful. It can remove all obstacles. It can do anything and everything. That means omnipotence. So through this aspect of the divine soul, this divine consciousness, Brahmanic consciousness, that is omnipresent, omniscient, and omnipotent, you too can become the mother and Sri Aurobindo, their consciousness. But at the same time, he, and they are mother and Sri Aurobindo, even when they're physically there. And these things mother told me. She said these things. I must confess to you, please don't be disappointed. Don't do like me. I want you to read mother's books and Sri Aurobindo's books and all that. But truly, I have not read one single book of the mother or Sri Aurobindo. Don't do like me, please. Now I'll explain you why. And mother explained to me later. She used to give me for every birthday. She would say before, 10 days before, she said, my child, she'd always call me in French. She said, my child or my son, I want you to make the list of books of mothers and Sri Aurobindo that I want for my birthday as a present. So every birthday, I'll get from her pile of books. But I would not read them. Playing and having fun was much more interesting than reading the books. And I'm being honest. Who wants to read Sri Aurobindo's Savitri? I'm a poet and I want to dream. I don't want to read. I'm joking. They have to understand that I do not have the same relationship with Mother and Sri Aurobindo and the divine like you. To me, they're part and particle. Me and I'm their child. I'm their product. So I'm part of them. So anyway, so I would not read. So one birthday, again, I felt guilty. So when she says, make that list for your birthday, so I give you all the books, I said, Mother, this year I won't make the list. And she started laughing. She knew why. This is why you don't want to make a list. I said, because Mother, all the books that you've given in the past years, I have not read a single. So until I finish reading them all, I won't make any list. And imagine as a child, I knew I will never read any one of them. But at least I've been sincere and honest, and I've told her she can say what she wants or do what she wants. I've told her, and she starts laughing and she says, "Don't worry, my child. You don't need to read them. You know." Again, she says, "You know all that, but you still make the list because perhaps one day you'll look into them." I knew. I'm very sincere with myself and with her also. So I knew I would not read, and she knew I would not read. And she said, "Don't read. Doesn't matter. You know everything." And again, there, how can I know? I just small twice. She says, "You know." I've not read. How can I know? But yes, now I see their knowledge is also omnipotent and omniscient. It's there, so it is in us also, omnipresent. This knowledge, consciousness, and I understand. And I have all the books signed with the blessings and everything. I have not read them. I don't. But I get now and then questions. People ask me, "What does that mean?" And he says, "I got this from such and such book in such and such chapter." So I look to see the entire reference, what it was about. I don't read the whole book, but that part and all that. And then I explain it. And as if it is the mother who had explained it to me. So it's easy for me to explain. So she has explained it to me. But in an occult manner. So I represent only their consciousness. I'm there to serve them and serve humanity. Because when you bow down to me and I give you my blessings, I, honest to God, I'm blessing you on their behalf. In other words, in Mother and Sri Aurobindo blessing, because they are in me and I represent them. And when I do Namaste to you, I'm doing Namaste to Mother and Sri Aurobindo who are in you. So I can also touch your feet, and I'm touching Mother's and Sri Aurobindo feet. I'm 84, but when I go to the ashram, they have trustees, and the two main trustees, well, a few years older than me, but I've known them since my childhood. We are friends, we are brothers, we all grew up together, older than me. When I go, I put my head on their feet as if I'm putting on mother's feet because mother nominated them. They represent the divine mother. They represent our divine Lord and Father Sri Aurobindo because it is their system. So even if I know that they're younger than me, or I don't know them and they did not know me as a child, as a trustee, they represent my mother and Sri Aurobindo, and I bow down to them, but I'm bowing down to mother and Sri Aurobindo. There's no humiliation in that. So I want you to change the concept of how you see mother and Sri Aurobindo and how you apply all these things. Then you will see that spirituality, religion, all these things give you great joy. Because otherwise, what's the sense? I still don't agree that that little boy should learn, Sanskrit. When is he going to use Sanskrit? But if he's a scholar, he wants to become a scholar and all that, then it's good. But algebra, I'm a medical doctor. I've never used algebra, or at least I don't remember using it. I don't see why I should have to study all that. So I want each one of you to start experiencing Mother and Sri Aurobindo or spirituality, your gurus. You might have other great teachers, other great masters in India. And Hinduism is a high level of spirituality. It's not a religion. Hinduism, there is no. Christianity is a religion. So if you want to become a Christian, you have to be baptized. There's a ceremony, and then you become. You want to become a Muslim, there is a particular ritual you perform, and then you become a Muslim. Hindu, even a Muslim can be a Hinduism, practice Hinduism. Because it's not a religion, it's high level spirituality and philosophy, it's a way of life. It is a world philosophy. So any religion, any culture can practice Hinduism. And even better, Sri Aurobindo's teachings and Mother's teachings, because they bring Hinduism even further and make it complete. Sri Aurobindo built this bridge between the human consciousness and the Brahmanic consciousness, divine consciousness, what he calls the supramental consciousness. I want to help each person realize not what Mother and Sri Aurobindo, who they are, or what they taught. You want to know Mother and Sri Aurobindo? Their books are there. What they taught, it's written. My duty, Mother said, is to help you to realize or to apply their knowledge, their consciousness in your life and to attain what you want to be Supreme Lord and Master over yourself, because they reside within you. And if you love them and you respect them, then you have to be the Supreme Lord and Master of yourself. So she said, doesn't matter whether they know me or not. She told me, you don't have to do marketing. You don't have to preach about Mother Shem. One of my patients wrote to me, I think from India. I think I sent you that email. Why don't you write about Mother's teaching? I said, my God, she's written books. Read them. Mother told me, you don't have to preach what Sri Aurobindo, I have taught. You don't have to do marketing. You don't have to sell us. You apply what we have told you to help each individual who comes and transfuse in him this consciousness when you help them, when you touch them, when you meet them, when you explain them. And as a doctor, if you do that, you will see the miracles you perform. My colleagues still ask me, how come they have the same training as me, that my rate of success was much higher at the university hospital where I was a professor of healing patients than there? How come? Same disease, same training, but different results. It's very simple. Doctors, we are taught today to work only with the physical matter, the body. Okay? The sickness is physical. The treatment is physical. Tablets, drops, surgery, everything. Everything is just material. Everything is oriented to molecular biology and medicine. But how stupid? How stupid? Because what did what created life? Where did your body come from? Before you became a body, before man came, what were we? So if you go to the theory of evolution, the American says that this creation started with a big bang. It's a sound. Of course, because Americans like guns and cannons, so everything is a big bang. But our ancestors, Lord Sri Aurobindo says, it all started with the sound of Om. It's a vibration. And Mother calls it the signature of the Lord, of Brahman. And this vibration, and this is scientific evolution, according to American science and all that. Only they said it starts with a bang, but they say it's with a sound. And this vibration, this frequency, this energy created microorganisms, which evolved and evolved and evolved. And this gentleman is sitting, but in his origin, he was also a microbe, perhaps a virus, and even further down, he was frequency. And even further, you were part and particle of this divine consciousness, Sri Aurobindo consciousness, the Brahmanic consciousness, Brahman. You are part and particle of Mother and Sri Aurobindo. Then became an energy, and then evolved life, and you became who you are. Do you follow me, or am I talking nonsense? So now tell me, if she created a child, she's a mother, she brought this child to earth, who does the child react to best? The mother. The child cries, doesn't know who is mother, who is father, and all that, because the brain is still not evolved. The child cries. The mother takes the child in the arm, and the child stops crying, because the mother feels the frequency. The child feels the frequency of the mother, the love of the mother, that removes the stimulus of the pain, the colic the child has, and it calms down. All through energy. She didn't give him a tablet or something. It's energy, love. It's frequency. Now, why don't we apply that in medicine? So, if I cure a patient, which I can't, because it is not possible to cure a patient, nobody can cure nobody, because nobody can change nobody. Right, Mother? She tried to change me. The thing is, nobody can change somebody unless the person wants it. If I can't change you, how can I cure you? And the sickness, the illness comes in your body, through your body. The healing comes also from your body. It doesn't come from me. So I can give you a book, I can give you a telephone, I can give you a glass of water. But your healing comes from inside. But I have to instigate it. I have to help it. Then itself. And that instigation of the healing process we can do through this Brahmanic energy, divine consciousness of Mother and Sri Aurobindo. And she told me, you're totally our consciousness. And so when you work, do it with this consciousness, that you infuse this consciousness. Automatically, there are no barriers for Mother's and Sri Aurobindo's consciousness. My finger can't go through that. Neither can this energy, my thoughts can go through it. And believe it or not, this little gadget is molecular, it is material, like matter. It can't go through wall. But when it transmits energy, which are the digital frequencies, they go can go up to the moon and even further. And I press on a button, and the phone in my friend's pocket in Australia, he's in Melbourne, rings immediately. There are no wires, nothing. See energy. So your thoughts, they travel faster than your body can. And they can do much more if you know how to use them. Because thought is also energy. The love you have for your children, your wife, and your family, you can't see. It's not molecular. It's an energy. Okay? So, mother told me, mon fils, quand tu travailles, tu es cette énergie de Sri Aurobindo et de moi-même, et tu transmets cette énergie. I'm not talking in French. She says, you have the energy of Sri Aurobindo and myself, and you transmit through your contact with the patients this energy within the healing process. So you use your academic knowledge, medical knowledge, but apply it together with this energy, so it's complete. Because when you break your leg, what happens? Your bone is like that. You break, the muscles from here pull this there, and the muscles of this pulls, and so your bone is like that. So what the doctor does, he pulls them apart, then puts them together, and then he puts a plaster of Paris around so it doesn't move, and then gives you 2 crutches so that you don't put weight on it and so that it doesn't move. And then there's nothing else he can do. There are no pills, no drops, nothing. The bone doesn't move. With time, the bone joins itself, grows into each other. Once that has happened, he takes the plaster off, throws it away, and you can throw away the crutches. Because the crutches helped, the plaster helped, but they are not the healing factor. It's within the body. There was no tablet, there was no medication. The body healed itself. So I have to give, if a cancer patient comes, I can't put a plaster or give a crutches, but I can give the proper medication required if necessary, but also the healing process through energy. And there too, I gave a conference about metastasis when you have cancer, that it spreads all over the body. And why? They remove the cancer, the tumor, but still, if some cells have not been removed, then they can again go into another cancer, another tumor. So that's why they do radiotherapy to try and kill all these. Radiation therapy, I'm sorry, kill these cells. But if not, they can spread. And the idea is, how can it serve? What is cancer? So there is this energy process. And it's through this particular energy that these cells grow, or we can kill them. So if we not only remove them molecularly, but also through energy, through occult energy, through spirituality, through mother's consciousness, then it not only destroys the cell, but it destroys also the negative energy that is inside. Because, as we know, energy doesn't die easily. And soul doesn't die at all. And soul is energy, but it's a divine energy. There is negative energy, which they kill through chemical therapy, the cell. But what happens to that energy? Is it killed? No, energy can kill energy, or energy can create energy. To light a candle, I can't light it with water pistol. You have to use fire to light fire. So with energy, I can ignite or light your energy of healing process. And you will feel the difference. Patients tell me that they feel the difference when I touch them. Mother told me. Now you understand why she was saying, don't hit, they are for healing. She told me later, now you see, you have to use your hands to heal. Touch your patients. Bless them. And bless. It is not just saying, I wish you all the best. No. I'm giving you their consciousness. So even if I don't, and you're there, coming in contact with me, you get this. You go to the samadhi, you feel that energy. The closer you come, the stronger you feel the energy. miraculous, the field of energy. And we have to understand Mother and Sri Aurobindo in these terms of consciousness, to change everything through their consciousness. And consciousness is this energy of being aware. So very often they said, how do we start with the process of consciousness? Very simple. When a child is born, its brain is not evolved. You can't say, oh, this is mother, this is auntie, and this is grandma. No. For that, the brain is evolved and he has to get experience. And mother says, look, this is your aunt, and this is your grandma, and this is your daddy. But otherwise, it doesn't have that knowledge as a child. But it can feel, it can experience energy, and with time, it starts evolving and it becomes aware. That it starts seeing and says, this is, recognizes that this is uncle, or this is mother, or this is father. This is awareness. When I cross the road, if I'm not aware that the fast car is coming, I get killed. So my seeing car is awareness. That's part of consciousness, but this is the initial part of consciousness. And unfortunately, all of you and humanity, they are satisfied that they are conscious that Madhuji is sitting here, and that Mothers and Shubinda's pictures are there, and there is a car coming, we have to be careful. And I'm now thirsty, I got to drink water. I'm hungry, I have to eat. That's where your consciousness stops. Your awareness. It's not even consciousness. That you are aware that you're hungry or that you have a pain. But it is a process which evolves. So then when you evolve further and you become even more conscious of things that you can't see, and you become conscious of things that you can't see, what are some of these very important things that you can't see that you should be conscious of and understand? What's your name, little girl? Amrita? Amrita, can you see your thoughts? No. So, but you think, is that correct? And when you think of something sad, then tears come in your eyes. And when you think of something beautiful, you feel good. Is that right? See? Thoughts are energies. You can't see them, but they have an effect. And you see something very delicious to eat, and water flows in your mouth, or you have appetite, you want to eat. See? Energy. You see, and you feel. So energies have effect. And this is where you start. Most people are not even aware that they are breathing. And we are breathing 24 hours a day. Have you ever seen air going into your nose and coming out when you breathe out? No. But you're breathing, and it's oxygen, it's air. So when you start becoming conscious of things like that, say, I'm breathing and I feel so good. And auto-suggestion, by just saying, I feel so good, it's an energy, it's a mantra. You start feeling good. But most of the time, people are complaining. Oh, the government has brought this law. Oh, I have to pay these taxes. That neighbor is making so much noise. Yes, the dogs are all the time barking in India. And the motorcycles are all the time honking. I'm aware of that because I don't like noise. But I'm trying to teach you basic things, how you can become so happy if you learn these basic things. I would love to come and give classes, simple classes with practical training. As a neurologist, she can improve her grades mainly through simple neurological exercises. And automatically you see that her grades have become better. How can we do that? Very simple, because as a neurologist, I know how the brain functions, how something becomes very clear. So if I make her see clearly what she wants, already that thing starts manifesting. What is manifestation? Is when something becomes real. When this bottle, this is manifested, it is real, it is born, it is there. How did it start? Amrita, how do you think this bottle started? Somebody thought about it, right? Somebody decided that he wants to make a bottle. That's when the bottle started, as a thought. What was that thought? I want to make a bottle. Wanting. And everything you have achieved in your life, even the clothes you are wearing, because if he did not want, then it would not. But then he said, I want. And the more he wanted, the more he thought, then he said how it should be, how, what form it should have, what color. And the more he thought, the more precise this thing became. And then he bought the material and created this bottle. So, in the final phase, like the architect who built his house, every single brick is in exactly the position that he had planned. Otherwise, this house would be crooked. But to do that, he had to visualize. So he virtually sees in his inner eye, he visualizes how it should be. Then he starts even making drawings. So this man who made this, or the person who made it, he truly did a sketch and everything to make sure that it is exactly like this. This is how you build your cars also. They're all visualized by specialists who create the models. They visualize them, they say, and then they see to it that it becomes practical. So everything starts by first visualizing. And why? So if you close your eyes and visualize the results that you want, like he visualized this bottle, that this is what he wanted, then this bottle got done. So for your exam, what do you want? You want to pass your exam. For what? You want to become a doctor? So, for instance, for me, medical students would come to me because they can't sleep, because they would go to the doctor because their exams are coming. They are very intelligent, but they are very nervous. They are very afraid. They are afraid because they don't know what the results will be, whether they pass or not. And human beings and also animals are afraid when they don't know something. If they don't know, if you don't know that there is something in a dark room, or it's empty, or toys, or then you're afraid because you don't know there might be a lion inside. But the moment you open the light and you see that toys, you start playing. So these medical students are scared of the exams. They can't sleep at night. They can't eat, and they can't sleep and eat, and that's so they can't even study. They can't memorize everything. So they go to the family doctor. The doctor prescribes them tranquilizers or sleeping medication. So they sleep for 12 hours and they get up. But the fear is still there. And even more, now they've slept for 12 hours, they did not study. So then the doctor says, go to Dr. Madhusudan. So they come to me. So what do? I don't want to give them medication because that won't take away their fear. So I tell them, I understand the brain. Our human brain has two hemispheres, the left and the right side. Okay? Your left side controls your right side, and your right side controls your left part of the body. Another thing about the left and right is that the left side is for your logic. So when you do mathematics, you do with your left side. But when you have to decide which friend is a better friend, you're using your logic. And you say, yes, Kavita, she always beats me. But Lakshmi, she's nice to me. So that's reasoning. You're doing it with the right head. No, left. Every logic comes from the left side. But then if you visualize that you're playing Lakshmi or Kavita who beats you up is not beating you up but offering your hand, that emotion of love and friendship comes from the right side. The logic comes from the left, but emotions. So, for instance, the left side is for mathematics, for reading, writing, because you need logic, for grammar and all that, for writing. The right side can't. So if this gets paralyzed, if it gets destroyed in an accident or sickness, you won't be able to do math, not even do 2 plus 2. So if I show a patient whose brain is damaged, how much is this 2 plus 2? In every culture, every language, 2 plus 2 is always 4. Never 3, never 5. Okay? But he can't. He just looks and he looks at me and he says, He doesn't understand. Okay? Because yeah. But if he plays the piano, because I like to play the piano, and you play piano with two hands, his left side is paralyzed, so he can't use his right hand, but he can use his left hand and he can play music. Why? Because music comes from the right side, and the right side is not damaged. So he can't do mathematics that comes from the left, but music he can. I'm telling you this because this is simple neurology, simple brain, but also your subconscious here. And here there is no logic. So if I put in your right brain side that you have become a medical doctor, since there is no logic here, you will believe in your subconscious mind, yes, I'm a doctor. So if I did that to the medical students, that they visualize that they are already doctors, wearing white gowns and having the stethoscopes in the pocket or hanging around their neck, which is something like this, and it's symbol of doctor. So I tell them, now visualize that you are going through the wards, because they know as students that we take them with us when they're learning to. So they visualize, and every single student that I've helped do these things have succeeded. Not because I'm Mother's and Sri Aurobindo's child, because this is science. They created this science, the divine, the brain. Because the level of fear, even though it's in the subconscious mind, but there's no logic, because the logic would say, hey, the exam is in 2 months. You have not yet passed, and you have to pass to become doctor. That comes from the left side. And the fear comes there because you have not yet passed. But here, there's no logic. So it accepts. It accepts the fact, and it lowers your level of fear. And you do it. So next time you have to do something very difficult in school, you visualize that you have passed. And you see you won't be nervous, and your results will be better. And these are techniques I've done with children, I've done with adults, and for people who have had difficulty. A young man, how old are you? I'm 50. 50? I thought you were only 20. So this young man, 18 years old, comes to me, German boy, very good looking, built strong like a Tarzan. So I said, sit down. So he sits down in my practice in Germany. I said, what can I do for you? He says, I need your help. I said, for what? He says, I have a problem. What problem? Fear. I said, you? Fear of what? You know, you can even, you scare even Ravana with that. So he says, no, it's fear for my driving license. What? He says, yes, I'm 18 and I've found a training program, but which is far from my village, and there are no buses or trains going there. So my parents have to take me there, but my parents have money, and they said that if I do my driver's license, they will buy me a car so I can go myself. So I said, and where's the problem of your fear? He says, well, I went and did my written exam. I got 100% correct answers. But when it came to practical, he drives with his teacher, driving teacher, trainer. He says, no problem. When I drive with my father, no problem. When he drives alone in their property, they have a huge property because they live in the country. He said, when I drive in my father's property where I don't need a license because it's not public place, I have no problem. I'm not afraid. I can drive very well. But the moment the state examiner, the government examiner comes, who then sees if you can drive or not, he gets so nervous that he fails. I said, you already tried? He says, yes, 3 times. The first time was bad, the second time was worse, and the third time he says it was so bad, he was sweating and shaking, that the instructor said, after 2 minutes, 2.5 minutes, he says, stop, before you kill us all, you better come back again. So he says, now I'm coming to you because my doctor said go to you. This doctor somehow knew. I don't know, people talk to the doctors and say, he did this for me. So my doctor said to come to you. I said, okay. When is your next exam? I said, next week. I said, that's very nice. He'll pass, don't worry. So I made him visualize that he's presenting his driver's license to his parents so that they give him the car keys. Because he can't get the car keys and present the driver's license to his parents until he has done the exam. But that is with his left side. He knows it's next week. And when he's doing the exam, he still knows he has to pass. But on the right side is already this message that he has passed. That he already has. That afternoon on Thursday next week, he was supposed to have. That Thursday afternoon, he calls me, laughing. He says, even the instructor asked me what happened to me that I've changed so completely. I did it so well, he gave me full grades. He says, I thank you. He says, I can't believe why I was so afraid the first 3 times. He said, don't worry about the past. Enjoy your car and have fun and be aware. Don't make accidents. Consciousness. So you can do things with your brain which they must teach you slowly in the school. And I wrote a book. I'm not trying to do marketing. Others can do that, I think. This book was written, it's called Spirituality, Illuminated Materialism, and the Mind, meaning the human brain and human understanding. This book, I had finished 2016, it was in my computer. But though my name is Patel, and Patels are all business people, by the way, you meet a Patel, make sure your wallet is safe. Don't worry about me because I don't carry a wallet and I don't want a wallet. So I don't want money because I don't have a wallet. But I've written this book because there is this misconception, and the mother had explained to me the importance of materialism, of matter, money, and all that. Yes, there is this illusion that if you want to dedicate your life to the divine, you have to give up all the comforts of material life. You should eat simple food, you should not eat this, you should meditate, you should not have money, you should donate. Yeah, I like that. That's what the pujaris do. They tell you to donate your money so that they can show you a path to heaven. And I said, crazy. They are millionaires because they keep your gold and they send you to heaven. It's better that you stay with your gold and enjoy the gold and then go to heaven. So, anyway, I wrote this book to explain what spirituality is, what is materialism, and I call it illuminated materialism. Your body is matter. So, how can you say materialism is not important? Perhaps it is. Perhaps it could be even more important. Because if I didn't have a body, I could not manifest Mother and Shiv Mother's consciousness. Right, Ma? See, I joke with her and I talk with her and I talk like that to her even as a child. I say, why do I have to? Why do I have to have a body? She says, you need the body for the spirit. So materialism is very, very important, and you have to see it as something that is illuminated. The problem with materialism is that man has made materialism, they've become attached to money. So money is not for the purpose, it is purpose in itself. They want to make money. Not for spending it or using it, but just to collect. They run after money. Mother told me when I was leaving my child, don't run after money. And you are not the type of, don't worry. Do your work and Sri Ma Lakshmi will accompany you. It's normal. If you are employed by Tata, you do your work as an engineer, he pays you. You don't do work and you stay home, Tata doesn't pay you. Because you're not working. So mother said, you do your work, money will come. So, of course, I could have told mother, but I could become a pujari. I don't have to work and money will come. No, but it is true. You have to just have money for the purpose of living this life, this divine life on this divine earth. And it is money that creates matter. Only plants and nature grows with sunshine and water. Everything else, which is a divine creation, even this chair I'm sitting on, could not be had it not been the power of Shrima Lakshmi, energy of Mother Lakshmi. Lakshmi is the goddess of money, I guess, in India. So, and Mother told me that Shrima Lakshmi will accompany you. And Shrima Lakshmi has been very kind to me because she's given me a lot of liberty. Because I said, then I don't have to work hard. She will come. I just do enough because Mother didn't say how work hard and you get more money. She said just work. I work and it comes. And Without this energy of Lakshmi, other than Sri Aurobindo's evolution would not take place. This Brahmanic evolution can't take place. Because we were still in Stone Age. We were living in caverns like savages. But today we live in beautiful houses. We have meditation rooms, okay, where we can worship them. So you can see what money and all this. Whose house is this? Did you steal the house? You got it. Were you born with it? But you have to buy it, no? You have to spend money to get it. See? It costs money. Sri Lakshmi. So the house is important, not the money. The money is a means to getting to the house. But rich Patels, they collect money. They don't even bring it to the bank. They have it in big boxes and suitcases and everywhere. I'm a Patel, but I don't have. They still make money. Okay, so my message to you is look at everything from its essence. Don't worry about your defects and things that you can't do. Look at the most powerful asset you have in you. It's this divine consciousness, presence of Mother and Sri Aurobindo. And even if you just say, I feel them, I love them, everything's already that makes you feel. Look, it gives me goosebumps. Just to say, I feel them. That's enough. And it doesn't matter how many defects you have. You could be the last in the school and the worst worker, but this you have, this love for the divine. And stop worshipping. No, I should say, stop only worshipping. Worship, but go beyond worship. Be devoted, but go beyond devotion. Apply that consciousness for which they came. Do you think they just came to make you happy? No, they came to fulfill you. More than happiness is your self-fulfillment, self-realization, which is the utmost form of happiness. And happiness is the tape of measuring. You have measuring tapes for distance. Happiness measures your spiritual success. A man who's totally happy means he's realized. And you say, how can that be? He might be a crook. He's happy because he has got so much money. He can't be happy just because he has money. He can't be happy if he's lying. He can't be happy if he's doing crooked things because he knows. So if you're happy, you know that you have done everything right. That there is everything in your life. The money that you require, like me. I'm not a wealthy man. I'm a very famous neurologist. I've made a lot of money in my life, but I don't hang on to it. Nothing. Mother told me, don't run after money. But I have enough. There's food for my wife and me on the plate. We are capable of paying our rent. I'm not naked. I even wear shoes. What do you want me more? So if one piece of bread is enough, why should I work to have a whole bakery? What's the point? Or why should I buy a whole bakery? I won't be able to eat all the bread anyway. So Mother told me, my child, you are totally a free spirit. You are born with this capacity that you are not attached to anything. And I don't know. People who know me will tell you that, no, I'm the happiest person on earth. My wife and me, we are married for 55 years. I'm 84. And my wife is the same age as me. She's German. We're married for 55 years. We have no children. Yes, we have, because I love children very much. These are my children. And I always have priority. You ask your uncle, whoever it is, my number, and you can always call and say, I'm such and such person. I was at your conference in Chitradurga. Chitradurga, then I remember. Perhaps I might not remember your face. Then you show me on video cam, video WhatsApp, you can see. And I will always help. And you can be sure that you can make your success if you believe in yourself, because it's in you that Mother and Sri Aurobindo are. That is only the photograph. So you worship them, but you worship them inside also. You look after them and feel them. Say that they are there. And when you repeat such words, I feel thy presence in me, my divine mother. Look, tears of joy come to my eyes. Because it is true, you feel it and you see how powerful it is. So, my work is to help people who have illness and problems, but also teach whatever they want to learn about spirituality. And I am not the conventional doctor. I don't practice anymore. Matter of fact, I stopped at 55. I decided not to practice medicine anymore because I just was free spirit, and I didn't. I said I won't. I have done enough to help humanity. Now I just want to live. And I'd asked Anand, who's an architect in Pondicherry, to build a house on the beach between Pondicherry and Aurobindo, and something very, very big, many acres, with servants' quarters and everything, with quarters for friends to come, and with a waterfall in the house, because I was, so to say, a millionaire or whatever you call it. And Sriman Aurobindo came. I was in a place called Sedona in Arizona. It's a very, very famous place where there's this mountain or hill where there's this vortex energy that you feel it pushes you upwards. When you're going on the path, you just feel that it pushes. My wife and her sister went. I sat in the car. I was doing something else. I don't care for all that. And it's in Sedona that I had an encounter, what Indians would call darshan. That Sri Aurobindo and Sri Maha came, and that was the first time that Sri Aurobindo in person. So I said, "What is my Lord doing?" And so Mother said, "I brought Sri Aurobindo with me because he wants to talk to you." And he said I should do it. I should continue helping humanity. And I said, basically, yes, but I still want to. I don't know. I have had enough. I want some time for myself and all that. I said, no. You do it because you'll have to do it also, he says. And believe it or not, I had to do it because a very good friend of mine organized all the money I had into his pocket. So I had to reopen my practice at age 55 again, start helping humanity. And I never regretted. And I talked with his mother, and mother said, yes, that's a beautiful experience, and it's very good because it is part of experiences that one can tell people about and help people to show that you are not dependent on what you have as job, house, or money. That it is your spirit that makes you. And look, I'm still here. I was 55 and Sri Aurobindo, mother and me, we had a talk. My God, time has gone by so fast. And I'm 84 today. And it looks like it was only yesterday that we met. That's because we meet also very often. And this also you can do. Mother said to me, I'll be always present. Whenever you go, I'll be there immediately. So whenever you say, Om Namo Shri Ma, she's there, you're bowing down to her and she comes. And if you start applying spirituality, what I'm trying to tell you, by this consciousness, you will see how much progress you make in no matter what, even if you're a mechanic today. I've had patients where my colleague said this person will die. If not today, by day after tomorrow, she's dead because her cancer is so advanced. So what's the point in operating her because she's fractured her hip bone? She has so much pain, they should operate and they would have to put an artificial joint. Because it's broken. Her bones had also got cancer. And she was a psychologist. But she trusted me. She said, I believe. And she also knew about mother insurance. She said, I believe. I want you to help me. And the doctor says, no, we can't. What's the point in operating? She'll die. I said, what? I almost slapped the doctor. He was the chief physician. I was only a consultant. I don't practice anymore. And this was in Italy, in Turin, where I have a practice. And I said to him, what nonsense. You're saying if she doesn't die today, she'll die later, day after tomorrow. Why did she not die day before yesterday? Tell me, why did she not die day before yesterday? So why should she die day after tomorrow? So he looks at me and he saw I was getting angry. Plus, I said, hey, she's a patient. She's not a cadaver. Cadaver is when there's no life. When a person is dead, he's a cadaver, dead body. So there is no law that you should cure a dead body because there's nothing to cure. Atma is gone, the soul is gone, the energy is gone, the body is now just molecules. But this woman was still alive. And our duty is, so I would have slapped him and he understood. I was very angry. When I get angry, you have not seen Mother Durga. But if you had seen Mother Durga, then you will see 10 times Mother Durga when Madhusudan gets angry. Ask the mother, she'll tell you. No, this is unfair. We have to, as doctors, until the last breath, the people have chance. And that woman, so they operated. 3 months later, she returned to her job and she's completely cured of her cancer. She started practicing, she bought a new car, she got herself a nice little dog and everything. And she says, all this thanks to the mother. They thank me, but I say it's the mother. But it's true, it's the mother. No, she is Shri Ma. And she gave life. And who gave life cures life, heals you, energy, soul. So these are little anecdotes to say we can do miracles. And I can tell you, somebody asked me, I should write. They told me to write my autobiography. I said, I'm too lazy to write and I'm not interested in talking about myself. I don't want to, I've not even read my own book. I said, no, I'll send you the file and you do what you want with it. But I won't read it and correct it, make corrections. So they made it. They asked me to write my autobiography. What nonsense. So many books, millions of books of it. Then somebody says, why don't you write just about all the case studies? Because there are so many humorous stories, very interesting stories where you can laugh. And also very beautiful examples how divine can help. And these are real stories. And so my request to you people is to start looking at yourself in a different way, at your life in a different way, your problems and difficulties in a different way, so that you start solving them the right way. And the solutions, believe me, are simpler than you think, much simpler. And spirituality is not very difficult. It is not at all so complicated. No, this is spirituality. Become one with Mother's and Sri Aurobindo's consciousness. So somebody asked me, then how do I start? I said, start by just repeating yourself. This Sri Ma Sri Aurobindo, I feel you in every cell of my body. Then you just imagine that you're just one with them. So don't see them, and this is your defect. You see them as a different entity. You here and them there. Everybody says, God in heaven, if he wants, it'll happen. I said, damn that God of yours, if he wants, it happens. God in you will make it happen. So he's not somewhere in the clouds, he's in you. And you do. So if I pray for something, the first thing I'll do after I finish praying, I will not pray. If I don't meditate, I don't pray. But if I pray, the first thing I would do is get up and do what I was praying for. And when you go to the temple, don't ask Ganesha or Shiva or Krishna for favors. Go and meet them, become one with them. Say, hey, like when you go and meet your friend. So when I meet my friend, I say, hey, let's go and have a beer. You say, hey, spiritual man talking of beer? But I'll tell you another story. When I was leaving, now you can see the mother I know is not the mother that you people know and you read about, what everybody talks about. When I was leaving for studies, very young, others encouraged me to go. And I didn't start straight away with medicine. First, I went to the College of Physical Education to become a physical trainer. I was just tennis and so on, but I love Dada, who is in charge of the physical education department. And mother says, good, you go first to Germany, you do that diploma, and then you'll be ready to face medical studies in America and everywhere else. But Germany will teach you discipline and everything. So when I was going, First experience, I said to mother when I had to go, I said, why? I'm your child. I'm your son. I have to go away from you. And all these other people, they can stay here, all the other children in the ashram. You know what the mother said? What fees? My son, they are here. Et moi, je suis avec toi. But I am with you, my son. And people have experienced mother's disciples in Germany. This lady, her name was Mrs. Karnash. And I was their guest when I arrived from here, from India. And I was they were preparing dinner, husband and wife. I was their guest for 1 week. So she knocks on the door, and I was communicating with the mother. I was talking with the mother. But this is at an occult level, so it's not like me talking to you. It's something different. But I'll explain another time. And so I said yes, and she opened the door and she says, dinner is ready. Can you please come? So I got up and I went for dinner at their table. Husband, wife, they're both devotees of Mother and Shiva. They're German. He's an engineer. So she was looking and looking at me, and then she said, can I ask you a question? I said, yes. She says, what were you doing when I knocked on the door in your room? If I'd said I was having a discussion with the mother, she would have not understood. She says, no. I said, no, I was just meditating. I said, why? She said, when I opened the door, I felt the concrete physical presence of the mother. And about 7 days later or so on, I received a letter from the mother saying, my son, I was with you, and she wrote to me a lot of things. And I have concrete proof of the fact that when she said, I'll be with you, anytime, every time, and it still happens. But the story is that before going, there was a devotee of the ashram, in the ashram from Punjab. So she said, I used to call her auntie. And because we in India, we call her, even though this young lady is younger than me, I still will call her Amma. So she's a mother. So I went to auntie for her blessings. So he says, son, before I bless you, I want you to make me 2 promises. I said, what are the promises? He said, 1, you promise me that you will not drink alcohol. So I had not even thought about all these things. Will I drink alcohol or not? Because all these things, as a young boy, who thinks about all this? So immediately I knew that this is something mother has to tell me whether I should do or not. But I said, yes, I promise. A lie, but a good lie. Why not? Don't do like I do. Tell them it's none of your business. I'll drink if I want, and I won't drink if I don't want. But I said, okay, I promise. What is the second thing? She says, promise me that you will not eat meat. I said, also that I had not thought. I said, I promise, auntie. So she blessed me. So I got what I wanted. And I went straight to the mother. Immediately when I got out of the house, I went to her. So I said, Shrima, douce-mère. She said, yes, my son. Auntie so-and-so has made me promise her this so that she blesses me. So I promised her not to drink alcohol and not to drink or eat meat. But I just promised her because she wanted a promise from me. So I said so I get her blessings. Mother knew. She started laughing. She says, you're really a crook. You wanted your blessings, so you told a lie. Anyway, she says to me, my son, listen, Germany makes very, very good beer. And fresh beer is very nutritive. It nourishes you. And you're so thin. And it'll do you good. So drink fresh beer. Stronger alcohol, laissez faire. You can let it be. She didn't say don't drink, but she said that you can leave. But drink beer. This is mother telling me this. This was in the 60s, 1960 or 61. If I told that to my colleagues in the ashram, including this Bhatti, who is one of the trustees, that mother has told me I can drink beer, they would have punched me saying this is a fallacy. Can never be true. But then for me, she says, my son, look, you are going and you want to become a physical education trainer for a graduate degree there, specialized for handicapped people. And I have a diploma in that too. I don't know why I have so many diplomas. And I'm still an idiot, but I have many diplomas. I said, what for? But anyway, she says, you have to eat meat because you're so thin and all that. So eat anything and everything they serve. Anything and everything they serve, including meat, eat because you need. This, if I told, at that time ashram was 100% vegetarian, excepting the mother used to give me every day one egg, fresh egg, and 2 tomatoes. So I used to eat raw the egg immediately because otherwise I was so lazy or so playing all the time that I'd forget and I'd not get it cooked and they get collected at home or in the boarding. So I would go in the back, in the garden where the samadhi is. In the back, there's a garden. To go where the filter is. I don't know if you people have been there. So I used to crack it, throw it in my mouth, and throw the things in the garbage can. Take the tomatoes home, and I'll eat it at home. But don't do what mother told me. That was for me, she said. It's okay. So I tell my friends, don't do what I do. Do what your doctor says or what I say you do. Now, no, no, but these are episodes about alcohol, these are episodes about meat, and just shows how close-minded we are. That the Divine Mother was not at all like that. And same thing when I spoke to about when a young boy growing up in universities outside, we come of age, then comes the sex, all these things, intimacy and all that. She explained to me, son, you have to eat to feed your body. And your body has certain functions that have to be fulfilled. And that's right. So as long as you don't become slave to sex, or as long as you don't harm others or hurt somebody, and as long as you don't become obsessed with it, it should be like food. She says you should not be obsessed with food. You should not eat more than what you require. And only then when you require. She says same thing about sex and everything. You have to live a normal life here, there. I don't know. I have never abused all these things. And I didn't have to be disciplined. I was never disciplined in that sense. I'm not a yogi in that sense because I didn't meditate. I can't and I won't meditate. I find it very boring. And mother told me, toi mon fils, chaque respire que tu prends, every breath you take is a meditation for you. You're always in contact with us. And the relationship with mother was always this happy relationship, of joyous, of humor and laughter and humorous arguments, perhaps. She is the one why you see how I'm dressed. I was telling my friends that if I came with a long gray hair and long gray beard, wearing garwa clothes and chanting Om, Om, the people will be standing in line to come and do their darshan. And they'll all bring me their potlis with money and gold, put it at my feet. And I said, that's really interesting, let's try it. So you see, you have to have humor. And mother said to me, Hafiz, you have to be with time. Dress like others dress. Be yourself with time. This is the modern day Lord Krishna. Would also be dressed like this. He won't be wearing those antique clothes. This request to all of you to have your relationship with Mother and Sri Aurobindo as an intimate part of yourself and not they as an entity whom you ask for help and service. She says, teach man, or in other words, human beings, their own omnipotence and omnipresence of the divine in them. And through this presence, they can be omnipotent, they can do everything they want and learn everything they can have, they can be omniscient. Give them power over themselves. Because everybody's expecting somebody, you expect your parents to do, but because you're young, I understand that. But then he expects God to do something for him. Okay? Or he expects his boss to give him a promotion. No. His boss will give him promotion if he does his work the best he can and he does it for doing it the best and then automatically progress. But why spend your money saying, oh my God, I hope my boss gives me a promotion? So he's nice to the boss. He brings him water. He brings him this. He brings him coconut. No. You feel, no, I'm doing my job. And when the time comes, I get up. So the divine is in you. So don't ask Mother and Sri Aurobindo, please see that my daughter finds a rich husband. And I'll tell the daughter, don't marry him. Take his money and run. No, I'm a rebel and I don't believe that we should continue doing things the way we've been doing. That is why we are suffering. So mother says, if you get up and do it, and you take the energy of Mother and Sri Aurobindo in you, then they are doing it for you, through you, but they can't do it by themselves. So if I'm sitting here and say, Shrima, give me a glass of water. If I said, Shrima, give me a glass of water, I can sit all day here. I will die of thirst. But Shrima won't come and give me a glass of water. It's impossible. But if I say, Shrima, thirsty, give me a glass of water, and I get up, go to the kitchen and get it, Shrima did it through me. Or if she was passing by and she heard I'm saying, please give me a glass of water, and she brings it, then perhaps Shrima did. She did it for me through her. But no, the closest place where Shrima is in me. So you have to heal yourself through the presence of the divine in you and not ask divine, please. No. When you pray to him as a friend saying, hey, I'm saying hello to you. So when I go to Ganesha temple, I love Ganesha. He's one of my favorite gods because I like his belly. And I said, how I wish I had a belly like yours and I could eat all the delicious sweets India makes. I can't eat much, not even other food. The quantity of food I eat is very little. It's nothing to do with discipline. I don't know what discipline is, but nothing to do with discipline. This is to do my capacity. So when I see him, I say, hey, how did you get that? Tell me. So these are the type of relationship you should have with Ganesha, with Shiva, with Krishna. Love relationship, an affair with the divine. And you will not believe it. What a beautiful affair it is to make life so beautiful, and it's never too late. Never. Sri Ma and Sri Aurobindo are there for eternity. So there is no time uh, factor in spirituality. No age, no time, no day, no night. No yes, no. No darkness, no light. It's just light. It's just consciousness. It is more than light. It is a sublime state of being. All is abolished. But the mute alone. Everything we are silent. Mind from thought released, freed from thought. There is no thought. The heart from grief. There is no pain, no sorrow. This is Nirvana. I think my Lord Sri Aurobindo has written this. I don't know. But we shall find out. And this is how you should be. And I, who works 7 days a week, long hours, I was up last night till 12:30. I went to bed. Until about 11:30, about till 11 I was with patients. Of course, in a restaurant. At that time, if they want my help, they have to take me to eat because I have to eat. So no, they had invited me, but they were talking for their problems. But I work long. How does it happen? How can it be a man 84 years old can work so much? Because this divine energy in us is more powerful than our muscles. Of course, as Mother said, you have to look after your body. You have to feed yourself. You have to wash yourself. You have to have certain amount of harmony. I don't call it so much discipline. I use the word discipline because lack of words, but I call it also harmony. Have everything in its place. Everything should have its balance. This is what I'm here for. There is no problem you have that you can't solve. There is no problem that you have that I can't help you solve or help you solve through them. But this is the advantage I have, that through their help and their presence, it becomes then easier for you. To me, always the nearer you are to the energy source, the more powerful that energy is. So you can be with the samadhi. You'll feel the energy and it'll do its miracle. But I want you to go also, and you will see that the same thing is very intense when you're directly there. It's like your fire. The heat goes up to a certain distance. So if you put your dal 2 meters away from the fire, it'll never get cooked, but it'll feel the heat, the warmth. But the closer you come, warmer it gets. But when you put it on the fire, that's the hottest. It's touching the fire, and it gets done in 20 minutes. I don't know how long dal takes. I don't know how to cook dal. I've not had dal for a long time. I don't come so often to India. I only come now, and I've not had the privilege of. For instance, I ate Indian mangoes for the first time in 64 years yesterday at a patient's house. They made also lunch for me after I did my work. They served also mango. So I said, I'm coming at the right time. And I told Vishal that you should buy mangoes I want to take with me for my wife to Germany. Because in Germany, you don't get these mangoes. They have mangoes, but they come from South America and they don't taste like mangoes. They don't even smell like mangoes. But they are mangoes. The best mangoes come from India. You can't find them abroad because Indian government wants mangoes to be consumed here for Indians. Otherwise, the Saudis were buying off all the mangoes. Entire crops, they are so rich. Then I don't know which government it was that said. And the history of agriculture has developed the most varieties of mango on earth is in India. Different varieties. Yeah, I don't know, dozens and dozens. All merit of the Indian agricultural department. Any questions? I will give people who need advice or help and so on. You have to ask Satish how it is organized. I represent also Pragati.life, that is a trust foundation, which is not like the Sri Aurobindo Trust or Sri Aurobindo Society, which is a trust, or the ashram is a trust, or Aurobindo is a trust. This trust is mother's work, the application of mother's work with everybody, not just the disciples of Mother and Sri Aurobindo, anybody and everybody. So that even a child from Africa, if he's here and he needs me, I will help. I don't have to talk about Mother and Sri Aurobindo. And that's not the purpose of my work, to spread Mother and Sri Aurobindo's name or the philosophy they should be. I tell that I was brought up by the Mother and Sri Aurobindo because I'm so grateful to them. But I want each person to realize what he wants, not what Mother and Sri Aurobindo want. Their message is truly self-fulfillment, self-realization of mankind, to become one with this divine consciousness, the Brahmanic consciousness, or what I call Sri Aurobindo consciousness. Either in this book or another book that has just been translated from Italian into English, because I wrote my first book in Italian, but laws and principles of spirituality. I speak 8 languages, and I have a practice in Germany, and I have a practice in Turin, where I go every month. And you made a mistake. You know which mistake? They chose to come to India. It's a garbage can here. Italy is so beautiful. Lovely. Lovely sea, lovely ocean, lovely beach, lovely skies, lovely colors, everything else. You came to India. I don't know what they did. I want to live in Italy. It's beautiful. And honestly, God, it's beautiful. I think Mother loved Italy also very much. It is the first place in Europe that I know that created a center for the mother in Turin, where my practice is. It's called Center Mira. Mother's name Mira. And they asked me to be the president or to guide that center for its spirituality, to be the, I don't know what, teacher, the chaprasi of the mothers and children's servant, to be there. They're very nice, these Italians. And been there for over 22, 23 years now. And they are wonderful. They are devotees of Mothers and Sri Aurobindo. And they brought me from all the way from Berlin. When they found out that I was brought up by the Mother and Sri Aurobindo, they called me and they said, we want to meet you, and they made me come. I fell in love with Italy, and we lived there. I worked there all these years, and I still have a practice there. A small apartment where I can stay. Otherwise, we live in Germany because Helga is German, my wife, and she's also my age, and she wanted to be with her sisters and nephews and nieces, family. My family, all of you and them and they. I can be anywhere. I'm happy, but I prefer Europe and Italy. To live is nice. Pondicherry is something different. Pondicherry is exceptional. We live in the family house that we are now repairing. but I did not grow up. I grew up in the boarding, but my father had bought a house and he had donated to the ashram. It's right near the ashram, 3 blocks away. It's on the same road where Sri Aurobindo's room is and mother's room is on that road. And it's 3 blocks from the ashram. And so now we are renovating it so that in winter I'll come and spend, and I would like to spend 5-6 months in India, in Pondicherry. And then when it gets very hot here, and it's no more so spiritual because it's too hot to be spiritual, the spirit flies away very fast through the heat. So I go to Germany and to Italy. It's beautiful. You go study in Italy. It's very beautiful. And I know your mom and dad. Are they here, your mom and dad? That's your mom. You had a child when you were a child. You look like her elder sister. At best 3-4 years older. See what the Indian parents do? See the poor mother, they got a rich husband, your father, and now she's caught with you, and you gave her so much trouble. Is she a good daughter? Ask her you speak Telugu or Kannada? Ask her if the daughter is a good daughter. Yes, I'm sure. If she said no, I said, then give her to me. I think I like because she's not good. You can also come. We have no children. But your observation is perfectly right. Your observation is perfectly right. Right, huh? Yeah. No, it's marvelous. You have to use some of these things I teach, which are practical, because I understand the brain very well. And you see, you'll be the best in the class because you are having the most fun. And I say you should not want to be the first or the best. You should want to say, I want to do what I have to do to finish my school because I want to become a doctor or an engineer or whatever, and I want to have fun in life. And for that, unfortunately, we have to go through school and get our diplomas and all that. But if they spend too much energy trying to be the best, they don't have fun. And nobody asked me what my grades were so far. So I don't even know if I was the first or the last, but I was not bad, I know, because my professors liked me very much and they used to ask my advice also. And when I finish, I know from times when they even asked me to come and give lectures there for them. So I was also professor at the university in Boston. So you can be very successful in life even if you're not the best in school. It's important that you have your school degree. You know what you'd like to be? Engineer, yeah? Are you related to her? Oh, you're the father. He's lucky. He's lucky because he married your mother and that's why he got you. Have you other children? How old? Oh, nice. How old are you? 17? My God, I thought she was 11, 12 or something. My knowledge of age, I'm a doctor and I can't still recognize. But because the Indians look very young. The Indian population just look very young. Amrita, yeah, Amrita is eternal. It's nectar, eternity. You did well because I'm the spirit of Krishna. I would have stolen it. Yes. I was very naughty. Ask the mother.
Mother, consciousness, energy, spirituality, materialism, everything is good. But as you said, nowadays in this mundane world, we are running after money. We are running after outer knowledge. We are not going inside. That is, you said, divine.
See, this he has understood, and this is what I want you to understand what he's saying. This is what the mother, what he's saying are the words of the mother.
They are not going inside, they are going outside. That is materialism. That is spirituality. Somewhere I read that. Spirituality means beyond this. awareness. Spirituality means here. Spirituality means not here, there. But we are going here only. We are searching everything here only. Is we know everything, but still we are carving for materialism. I think, as I analyze, as I assessed, is due to our karma. What do you say about this?
The karma is the law of cause and effect. What does it mean, karma? That if I rob a bank, that's the cause. The karma is that they'll put me in jail. See? He marries his wife. It's a cause. The karma is he's blessed with a daughter and a son. It's a son, the 13 years. Yeah. Cause and effect. It doesn't have to be, it can be positive as well as negative. I call the mother, that's the cause. The karma of my act brings the mother. And she says, yes, my son. Immediately, cause effect. So karma is this energy of cause and effect that Brahman created because the divine doesn't decide. And I want you to understand me well, because otherwise you will get into trouble with all these people. It is not God who decides what happens with you and what you should do or not do. So if somebody says, this is my destiny, this is my karma, I have to do it. No. God doesn't decide. You can do. God will help you. So this man wanted to build a bottle, and the grace of God, this energy of the divine, helped him make this bottle. The man who built a gun, he decided that he wants to make a gun. God blessed him. That gun kills people. Do you want me to tell me God wants people to be killed? No. Just a minute. So the decision you made, whether you want this or that. Hitler, you must have all heard about Hitler and Mussolini. They killed millions of innocent people. Do you want to tell me this was God's will? Hey, goodness, you people are completely wrong if somebody says that. I say, where is your brain? How can divine destroy his own creation? We are, whether we are Jews, Muslims, Hindus, whatever, we are the divine creation. As he said, we come from there. And the law of karma regulates this. So, Mother and Shumindo, the divine doesn't say, yes, Hitler, go and kill, or don't kill. It says, it's your choice, you decide. But then, the Brahmanic law of karma is that if you do wrong, you have to pay the consequences. You do right, you get blessed with the consequences. So he did right, he married the woman he loved. And he got the children he wants. This is all karma, effect of cause and effect. It is as simple as that. Everything controlled by this karma. So that I have the right to rob a bank. God will say, go ahead, I'm not going to stop you. But then I pay the price. They put me in jail. I want to donate, just go ahead. I donate and it helps a good purpose. And it makes me feel good. So karma is a very important law, Brahmanic law, that keeps the control. And you see what happened to Hitler, what happened to Mussolini, what happened to Gaddafi. And watch and wait and see what happens to all these tyrants, like Putin and so on. The divine is watching. He's not saying do it or don't do it. Oh no, divine doesn't plan such catastrophes. No. This is human folly. He's experimenting with us. He's teaching us. You do wrong.
Destiny is final. If destiny, karma is in our hands, in our
control, yeah.
Why should we worship and make meditation? Why should we pray God? if everything is going on this through karma, why should we worship God?
No, it is not. Everything is not going on through karma. Karma is the effect of what you do. You have misunderstood.
It's a determined and already written in our destiny.
And that is because what this
with five senses.
Yeah.
So these five senses we are making karmas, bad karma and good karmas.
Yeah. The five senses lead us into a lot of trouble. They say this, they say that. But my argument is you are the vehicle through which God acts. You are truly a creation of the divine because there is the body and there is the soul, the divine, and it's one. The problem is the body is something biological. It developed from animal into man. So we still have this animal instinct, the brain, and I've explained it in the book here. Okay? And your hate, your anger, your passion, everything comes from your limbic center in your brain. That's biological. The soul does not have a brain. It's an energy, spirit. And this spirit is the spirit of the divine presence in us. Without it, life cannot be. And that is this eternal. Our true identity is this spirit. Living in this defective body, which has got all these biological handicaps, but which is also improving, as Yomura says, the evolution continues and man is better today than 1,000 years ago. Only about 80, 70 years ago, there was still cannibalism in Africa. Human beings eating human beings. It has disappeared, cannibalism. Today we are living in better houses than did your great-grandfather. Okay? Progress, material progress. Everything is going upwards. Also people, today look at her. She can manipulate this equipment. Magic, she does it. In my days, it didn't even exist. I had to write my entire doctoral thesis on a normal typewriter. There was no computer. Okay? So things are moving forward materially very fast. Intellectually and spiritually very slow because we are caught up, as you said, in this biological world of greed, of hunger, of thirst for power, for sex, for food. You know, it's crazy. And this is what Mother and children are saying. And they are all suffering. I have not seen a person who does anything that's unethical happy. And I've seen with my own eyes how karma works on people's lives through their acts. Good as well as bad, as I said. Karma is not only negative, karma is also good. So the karma of her studies, she studies, she wants to become an engineer. The karma is that because she studied, the effect is she'll get her degree. And she'll become an engineer because she wants to. Again, there where I was explaining about this energy of manifestation. It is explained in this book. Look, I think this is the first time somebody has explained even how this brain medically is related to spirituality and how we can use our brain. And this concept of karma and all that you're talking, what I'm afraid is that you said, why are we then, if it is predestined? There is no predestination. When you're saying predestined, that means you're telling me that Brahma had already organized that Hitler killed all these millions of Jews. And I'm going to come with a gun and put it at your head and now tell me, is this your karma? Is it predestined? Should I shoot you? You know, the problem. No, this is. Yeah. So I'm telling you.
Cause is already existed when we are born as a human being. We are all divine creatures. This divine creature, this human body, has already fixed thoughts and fixed actions are inside us. Those will show effect in this.
If that was true, I don't want to live because I say, my God, if everything is planned by him and I do what he says, then no. So when the guy comes in front of the judge because he has killed 5 people or he has robbed the bank, does he give this argument that he's giving? I did it because it was predestined to me that I kill and that I rob. Would the judge accept that? No. Nothing is predestined. We can change our destiny. This is the whole idea of spirituality, to help you overcome this animal instinct in us, which is still not transformed. We are still like animals in many respects. Some are less, some are more. Okay? What Putin is doing is monstrous. Killing innocent people, children, women, old people. Innocent people. What's the point? Just for his power? And you are telling me that God had, it is predestined, the Brahma planned that? You're on the path of self-destruction if you believe that.
Our past actions reflect present. Previous.
Look, what kind of absurd spirituality or philosophy is that? If I'm a judge, they bring somebody saying, Judge, this man in his past life killed 5 people. Would I condemn him in this life for that? Karma, this past karma is a fantasy of your Hindu pundits who have not understood what Hinduism is. Read Sri Aurobindo and you'll understand what Hinduism is. And if you honestly believe that everything is already fixed for you, go on the bridge and jump down. Kill yourself because it's useless. All this, what you put there. Why do you put it? If you believe that it's already predestined, you're going to die, you're going to suffer, you're not going to get it, so why be spiritual? Hey, come on, wake up. What is the point in spirituality? What's the point in her going to school if it's already predestined that she's going to become, just like that, an engineer? No, my child, you have to study. And nothing is predestined. You can decide. Even if your parents decide that you should marry that boy, you don't love him, don't marry him. Now your parents won't come anymore to me because I told you that. No. I want you to respect traditions, but I want you to respect your soul and what you want more than anything else. The divine in you. This is the idea. The spirituality is to liberate us from this blind destiny. Because what is the point in anything at all then? If everything is planned, then let's let them be killing each other, kissing each other, making love to each other, everything. Where is it going to take us? Nowhere. It's going to be a chaotic world. I don't know if you understand his argument and what I'm trying to explain. That it is not pre-organized. It is not the divine's will that you are what you are.
Sir, if it is not predestined,
Mm-hmm.
why should a man,
Mm-hmm.
they are all human beings,
Yeah.
some people born in rich family, some of them they live under poverty till their death. Why it is so? Why this action is so like that?
Because
What's the reason behind it?
what is the reason? Okay, what is the reason that monkeys have a tail and that you don't? What is the reason that a fish can swim but a bird can only fly? Diversity. Diversity. And it is not because God wanted you to be rich or be poor. And you can see if the rich man was fulfilled, happy and everything, then you say, hey, one has to be born rich to be happy. But that's not the fact. I come from a multi-million-dollar family, and my brothers, they were creatures. They didn't even enjoy life. They had so much money, but they would not even spend for a driver. They would drive their car themselves. And they will drive it not in the first gear because it consumes too much gasoline. So they'll put it straight away in third gear and slip the clutch. And I wonder, I said, what's the matter with these guys? They would sell petrol. We had a petrol bunk. And they would sell petrol to poor people in the village, in the fisherman's village, with a barrel and a tap, with a worker who has a container that's 1 liter. So it's 1 liter from outside, but inside there is a false bottom. That. So that much less gasoline that they sell, only a couple of cents they make. But for the poor people, it's a lot of money. And they are millionaires. My brothers, my own brothers doing that. And this was told to me by one of their workers, saying, we do this, but the poor people don't know that there's a false bottom in this. They look at it and they say, okay, they're getting 1 liter of gasoline. But they're not getting 1 liter. This is what pre-planned by destiny. These are monsters who have not evolved. It's because evolution makes people grow. And Sri Aurobindo's philosophy was that we won't wait for time to change us. Oh, it has been millions and millions of years from those microscopic organisms to human beings, and even millions of years from monkeys to human beings. This evolution of this species of man. Sri Aurobindo says now we don't have to wait for millions, because perhaps in millions, not perhaps, definitely, at a certain time in life, human beings will become one. Body and soul will be one. This consciousness will guide, not the brain, not the biological brain. He said, no, we can shortcut it. And that is his entire opera. The adventure of human consciousness can transform you into a divine being today. What does a divine being mean? That you are totally fulfilled, you're happy. You're really bad with what you have. And I'm an example of that. I left home with $5. My father was a multimillionaire. And he said, look, I've made so much money. Why do you want to study? I grew up by the mother, but he said, why do you want to study? I have 11 children. I have so much money. You can come 21 times on this earth and you can't spend all the money I've made. I said, I don't want to spend your money. I don't want to come back to spend your money. I don't want to spend it now. I want to study because I want to study. And mother told me, yes, you have to study. So I didn't take any money. I can't remember how I got those $5, but in those days, in 1960s, there was this foreign exchange. You can't have foreign exchange more than. So I could take $5. And I was going to Germany to study. I didn't even speak German. And today, I have 3 doctorate degrees. I have master's degrees too. My wife was telling me, I don't know how I studied. I must have robbed the bank because I never got a scholarship. My father didn't give any money, could not. He wanted to, but I said, I don't want to. So, divine grace, somehow everything came. I worked, but I was happy. I was having fun all the time. I always laughed and I always joked. And I still became a very successful doctor. This is human will. I wanted and I became. And this is what Sri Aurobindo teaches. So if you apply this consciousness of the mother and children, you apply just say, I love them. Don't ask them, say, mother, don't please help me get good grades for my math exam. No, mother, I love you. I'm going to, and you say, I'm going to give a good math exam. You repeat, I'm going to do well. You will see. Don't say, have I learned enough? Am I good enough? No, say, I'm good. I'm going to do it well. Daddy asks you, how are you feeling? Say, I'm feeling always this attitude. And I've seen majority of attitude of human beings is negative and sad. And please, don't believe. If you believe in destiny, then don't go to the temple. You're going to the temple getting that for what? And do you know? And I'm asking you, why do they put it there? And not in your ear or behind or on your toes or on your knee? Why? Why here? See? And even as a neurologist, I know that this point is an extremely important point. And our great masters, our spiritual masters, they knew this, that this is this inward eye. From here comes inspiration. Everything from this point here. It is a divine thing. And when he puts that, he unites, he brings the concept of Shiva, if it was, or Ganesha, or whichever temple, that divinity's energy, the priest connects you with. This occult, you don't see it. And to make it easier, you have this sign. Why is it that when a woman in India gets married, she has got a red point here? Why here? Why, as a married woman, she doesn't wear her this thing here? Because of this, she's eternally bound. These two souls. Hinduism is something so spiritual, something so divine, but people have made it a cult, a ritual, a superstition. That if I eat something today that I'm not something, then bad luck will come. No? I will still see. You're not supposed to steal, but if I see butter, I steal. I mean, Indian butter, makhan. You know, when you boil milk and the cream. When I was a child, I used to like that very much, to eat that with the bread. Today, they only make this terrible butter. not the same. So what I'm trying to tell you is that no, there is no destiny. I've imagined when doctors say that this person will die, and I say no. I've seen patients in coma for 3 months in coma. I can see with the electroencephalogram that there is no brain activity, but I can see with the inward eye, which is something. This is occultism. Occultism is the science of energies. What you can't see is occult, and occultism is science of energies. If you study them, you find out how they operate, you learn how to manipulate them, and you apply them. Mother and all these great saints are born with that. Mother told me I was born with this occult capacity because I knew my father was going to die. And I was not brought up by my father, by mother. I did not get it. He was in Vellore, he was a minor operation. I took my mother to Vellore for the operation. They all are glad that rich people have rich man's sons, they're enjoying his money. I lived in the boarding, but I said, I will go because I knew as a child, as a small boy, I was only 17, 18, 19. Anyway, I went and I knew, and honest to God, something went wrong. He lost too much blood and he died. So I felt guilty saying, is it because perhaps I knew this because I wanted him to die or something? Because there was always this conflict and all that. So when I told the mother stopped me and says, now I want you to listen. She says, no, this is your occult capacity of seeing things in advance, which are not there materially, but they are in energy form. And you are born with the capacities. And then she taught me, she explained to me many things about these things. So today I can see with this what I explained. These are things we see in occultism. Why there? Because that is your inward eye. And this is a very important point. It is the most important point, but also the most deadly point. You get shot there, you're dead immediately.
So how to become conscious of that?
Don't have to be conscious of that point. That helps. This. Oh yes, thank you for asking that question. This, what is where it helps him. And when she in the morning puts, if she remembers, now your husband might be a tyrant, but if you try to disconnect your husband from the divinity within him and within you, then things will start good, looking better. But it of this sacred bond between two beings. And this is why I appreciate when I see people getting married and they love each other. And that this love stays also years and years later. And I understand this because I've been married for 55 years without children. And it's the most beautiful life. Without her, without my wife, I personally think I would have been nothing. And without them, I don't even exist. But my wife, mother told me, she will help you marry. I married her. And it's fantastic. So these things, all these things you have to understand that they help you create what you want. You have, I don't know what your profession is, what your activities are, but you have to do it in order to feed yourself, to feed your family, and to feel fulfilled. If you believe in destiny, so I won't do anything. If it's about destiny, will tell me, I'll stay home. You know, no, cause and effect. You don't go to school, you don't get the diploma. You don't have a diploma, you don't get a job. So, and if you can learn to drive, then you can drive as a taxi type of experience. You can't drive, you have to work as a coolie. So I said, thanks God. I can drive, but I don't want to drive. But I don't want to be a coolie. If I have to be, why not? I've worked, I've washed. $5. I didn't get a scholarship. My father is a rich man. I couldn't borrow money from the bank because a student can't get money. So I have washed people's floors. I've washed dishes in a cafeteria of the university. And mother told me, my son, work is body's best prayer to the divine. Do everything, doesn't matter. I told her, working as a barkeeper, as an interpreter from English to French, French to German, German to English. So I used to earn money any way possible to pay for my studies. But I never found my life difficult. I can't say I suffered. Oh, this is divine grace because perhaps I was always the happy person. And sure. And that's why I say, yes, I like to be the spirit of Lord Shri Krishna because it's happiness. This is really simple. I want you to be always happy, joyous. And when you're sad, say, it'll pass. And always repeat something nice. Say, no, tomorrow will be a better day. I'm going to be having lots of fun doing my degree, getting a wonderful job, so that mommy and daddy don't have to work anymore. And they can have a good time. And you can have the most beautiful cars and houses. You don't marry a rich man. The rich man will come begging for you. Very nice. You have beautiful children. The other one is just like her. So you have a younger sister, brother. Very nice. Anytime you need me, I want children to always approach me. When your children need help, they should call. And I don't know. Yeah, you're 17, you might be able to understand and it might be interesting. It depends. For me, it's not a question of understanding. I don't know if it is interesting enough for people like you. But those who can read English, I strongly recommend. Because what I'm trying to explain to you, a lot of things are explained there. And it will help you in your self-realization for doing what you want. Okay? So next time you go, which temple do you go? Is it a Ganesha temple? Is it a Shiva temple? Is it an incarnation of Shiva or Krishna? Yeah. But and which Sai Baba. Yeah, I see. See, these are great things. These are these divine masters that have come on earth to make you fulfill your life. They won't do it for you, you have to do it. Then they are truly there. They came to teach you this, so that you can do it. They can't, he's dead. I don't know if he's still alive, your guru, but still. So that's why. Exactly. So every time you go, don't ask him, please bring success to my business or something. Say, hey, I've come to be one with you. I want your energy. I want to carry with you to my work, and you are in me, and I'm working conscious that you are in me and doing everything I'm doing through me. And you will see the success in your business. Write down what is the level of your profits of your business and all that today, and see what happens if you do what I'm telling you in 6 months. Then you say, my God, now that I'm working with my guru or my master, he's doing it through me, I'm having success. In the past, you were only asking him for help. And I'm tired of people asking God for help. Think, one of my Italian patients came and he says, I pray so often, and God is not asking my prayer. Why? And I'm doing everything. I'm not doing any crime, nothing. Why? I said, because you're stupid. He looks at me. He pays me so much money, and I'm telling him he's stupid. I said, yes. He said, why? I said, have you seen the God that you pray to? Have you seen your God? He says, no. Where is he? Yeah, he's in heaven. I said, how can he help you if he's in heaven? He's not a person. He's not down here. So come to me and ask me for what you want. I'll give you. If I have it, I'll give you. If I don't have it, I say, I don't have it. Ask her, she has it. But there is no person as God. And this is very important that you see, that you don't ask him, that you go and you become your God, your master. You take him in you. Like, this is fair. It should not be that, oh, my master and God and I there. No, he's your best partner. You try it, please. You will see. You will sleep better. Your family life and everything is slowly improved because you've become one with your master. This is true love. This is true devotion. This is true faith. When you become one with them. And when you have such great masters, what have you got to lose? If you're trying to identify yourself with Putin and Hitler and Gaddafi, these are criminals. And all these rich people and all these who do wrong. No, I want you to be concerned only about you and your God. And enjoy your life. You see your children very fit and they say, Papa, you're happy and we feel better. I promise you, I'll give you a written guarantee that if you follow these simple things, You will see how much difference everything will make in life. Because otherwise, there's no point going to him. If it is already predestined, then tell him, I'm going to sleep. I'm not going to do anything. I would like to do that, but you saw, I told mother I won't work. She took all my money away. So I had to work again. Before we finish, I want you to close your eyes, breathe slowly and deeply, and just repeat within yourself that you are one with the spirit of the divine, with Mother and Sri Aurobindo. Feel their presence in you. This is spirituality, to feel this presence. Breathe slowly and deeply and feel this divine peace in every cell of your body. Om Sri Matru Mira Sri Aurobindo Sharanam Nama. Namaste. Be happy. Happiness is the path of spirituality. So be happy. When you're sad, talk to them. Speak to them. Don't ask them. Give them orders. Don't ask them to do something. Do it. Yes, be happy. Life is meant to be happy, not to suffer. If you are happy, you will not suffer. Happiness is an attitude. Yes.
I want to ask a question that
Yes, please.
if you want to cure our physical illness,
Yes.
one thing is that you know that through inner energy you can cure.
Yes.
Another thing is that by invoking the divine energy from the outside, these are the only two possibilities or any other alternatives so that we can cure ourselves physical illness.
Absolutely. Everybody can cure oneself. But there are certain things that you need help from outside, like from the doctors. And Ayurvedic medicine, the advantage of Ayurvedic medicine is that it doesn't have side effects. But unfortunately, the Ayurvedic doctors that were there when I was a small child, the true traditional South Indian Ayurvedic practitioner, he was born with divine gift to understand nature. But today, you have to be very careful who is doing it and where these products come from, because today they're using pesticides and everything. So products from Himalaya herbals are very clean and very good. So my advice as a medical doctor from the West, to use our Indian medicine where it's necessary. But for instance, in Ayurveda, homeopathy, which is also very good, there is no such thing as antibiotics. For that, for certain infections, you have to take antibiotics. But people are misusing too much. And I'm warning you that my colleagues, they are very good doctors, but there is always a tendency, what we call money. So if you get cured, you will not go back to him. And if you don't go, you don't pay. But if you go, you pay. So you can figure out what I'm trying to say. So you have to know whom you're going to. There are doctors that are truly doctors. But then there are doctors who are there for making money. So my answer is no. If you are not satisfied with your doctor because he was not, try to find the right one. But at times we need outside help. Like as I told you, this leg breaks. First we need outside help. Doctors help. Plaster, fix it first. Put the plastic, give crutches. That's from outside. But once it's done, it grows by itself. You don't need medication, nothing. So healing comes from inside you. But at times we have to help from outside this inside healing. And the divine helps. But so my answer is You have to find somebody that can understand, who analyzes well what the problem is. The problem might require help from outside, but the true healing will come from inside. This help from outside is only to assist. But if you are serene, calm, self-confident, and as I said, not prayers, but this consciousness that you become one with them, you see automatically you organize a laboratory. I will take you there. We'll take your blood sample. I'll ask you first as it is. Then I'll ask you. I'll tell you a few things. You think about it. Then we take again blood sample, and you will see that your immune system has gone down within minutes. Then another patient will take, and we'll analyze the blood before, but after I put my hand here or here or here or here or there, and within minutes you see the immune system has gone up. So you can see how energy. And then if I tell them now, think. If you want to think of Hitler, what he's doing bad, or what's going on in war, and you see your immune system goes down. Just you're looking at the pictures of this war in Ukraine, all this bombing and all, and your immune system goes down. Just looking at it. Body system is very, very sensitive. But then I say, now think about the mother and Aurobindo. Look at their eyes. Look at their love. Look at the depth. You can see the depth of oceans and the vastness of the universe in Aurobindo's eyes. And immediately your immune system, and I'm talking science, I prove it to you in a laboratory with medical analysis, how much difference it makes, how you feel, what you think. So your thoughts are your worst enemies, but they can be also your best. The brain is the big problem. Mother told me, study neurology because brain is a big thing. It can help spirituality a lot. If people knew how to control their thought process and all that. Awareness, not just of cars, all that, but then slowly becoming aware of your thoughts, that you think, I'm thinking this is why I'm feeling bad. And then you change your thoughts and you feel good and say, I feel good because I was thinking something nice. So detach yourself from destiny, sir, because otherwise you're lost. No, you won't be lost. You are going to your master. You are taking the blessings. How can you be lost? How can you? Never. Never. This is something important. I want you to do the same ritual, but with this awareness that you're becoming one with your master. How much? That is love. You're giving him your body, his presence, his energy. And you know that he's physically not present. So it's easier to become one with him when he's in this energy. Body to bodies is difficult to become one. But this is the beauty of spirituality and devotion or religion and faith. These are practices. And chasing money and all that destroys you. I've seen people make millions and they die, they can't spend it. My brothers, they made all these millions. They died, they didn't spend, and they'd hidden money in their girlfriend's house. The girlfriend dies, the brothers of the girlfriend says, oh, this money is ours. You know, so they died miserably. They never lived a nice life, and they had all this money. And now other people are enjoying. I said, glad at least somebody is enjoying. So please, I don't want you to fall into the trap of money. Money is very important. It's the energy of creation. It's Shrima Lakshmi. But I want you to enjoy money. Buy nice things. It's for spending. Don't accumulate. Of course, you should also learn how to save a little in case you need it for treatment or for retirement and all that. But enjoy life. Money is not made for collecting. It's for life, for living. I've really enjoyed life. I still enjoy life. Look, I'm still laughing and joking. But I am who I am. I'm a serious doctor. I'm a serious spiritual teacher. Because it's a responsibility to help people. what I say, I have to be sure that I'm saying it right so that it's understood properly. And if you misunderstand, it's my problem because I didn't say it properly. Yes, I have to see that you understand what I mean. But do read some of these things because it's explained on paper how these things are connected one with the other. And materialism is very, very important. Money is very important because without money, you can't feed your children and all that. But it is not the aim of life. Life, the aim of money is to give life and to make life beautiful, comfortable. Even luxury is allowed. Everything is allowed. You can buy 10 Ferraris. No problem. If there's money, it gives jobs, it gives money. Why not? If you enjoy 10 cars, you have 10 cars. Problem is you can drive only one at a time. So my wife says, don't forget you should buy a dozen these bunions or whatever you call it, understood? Because they make them in cotton. And I tell them, but I wear only one at a time. But she said, no, but you have to wash it also, so brain does. It's true. I said, I wear one, why do I have to buy so? Because I don't like going shopping. And then she says, buy 2 shirts. Then I go to Pondicherry stores and I look, there are so many different models. I said, which one she'll say is correct? So then I buy one of each model. So I come home, I got 14 shirts. She said, what? 14 shirts? And you will see, I brought shirt back because they were bought and they're very stiff. You can't wear them, they have to be washed. But they have not been washed because there's 14 of them. So she said, you take it and wash it in India, that they will iron it, otherwise she has to iron them. No, I see. I'm a spiritual person. I'm a doctor and everything, but I like to joke. This is the spirit of Mother Sri Aurobindo. Mother always laughed, and I'm sure if you had met your master, he would have made you laugh. He would have never made you cry. All these great masters, they are happy people. They come from way above. They are the manifestation of Brahma. You have to see them as that and not as human beings. But as I said, when he goes, he should have this proper attitude or this proper perspective where he's going. When he gets this, he has to remember that he's present all the time in him. Like they are married for eternity. So even when Swami does that, you have to say he's putting divine presence in you, connecting you with the divine. And you remember, you're connected with the divine in your wife also, and your children. They connected with you. So your Appa is not just Appa, but he's also your friend. Is he good to you? Yeah, that's nice. He looks to me nice man. Okay, let's have some food and some fun. Any questions? Yes, madam. Did I answer? Please, if you're not satisfied, you have to ask me. I will tell you. If you tell me also the specific, if you tell me also if you tell me also the specific problems, then I can say also what could be better or what not. But you have to collaborate with your doctors. You have to have faith in your doctors. And if you're not satisfied, then you can change. But I can't I can't interfere and say, don't take that, take this. No, never. You have to respect him. This is solidarity. And have faith because he is working also for them. But today, even doctors, you say these rich people run after money. In my days, we became doctors to help humanity. Today, young people go into medicine because they want to make money. That's the wrong approach. Medicine is first for serving and helping humanity. And we have to be paid because we have to live also. The reason for work should not be money, but helping humanity, healing humanity. And anybody having specific problems can come and talk to me and I can give my advice, tell them what they should do and what they can also speak with the doctors and so on. And then necessarily the doctor can call me or I can call the doctor if you give me the permission. But is it better when they talk to the doctor and the doctor talks to me because I should not interfere between the relationship between patient and doctor. I'm not allowed to steal patients. I'm not allowed to, it's not allowed. There's no rules. They do everything possible, but I don't. I believe in harmony. I believe in collaboration. Because otherwise, Just by being in harmony with yourself, you will see automatically people come in harmony with you. Believe me, I travel all over the world. I have not met one hostile person so far. I'm being sincere. And in India, people are so kind and so friendly. The poorest of the poor smiles at me. The rickshawalas bless me also when I do namaste to them. But they ask me if I want a rickshaw, but I'm just going very short from where I live to. And I, and I tell them, I'm sorry, and they appreciate. They like it. So they see me every morning. They say good morning, and the rich they smile at me. They help me. They show me. Everybody is nice. It's wonderful people. But humanity as such is a wonderful humanity. So if you have this attitude that they're all really good, everybody. And I tell when somebody's mad at you in school and so on, they're not nice to you. Then perhaps she is suffering because she has problems at home or because she has problem with her friends and all that. And then they treat you roughly. Because when you have problems, then you can't be all the time good to others, especially to your own family. You'll be rougher. So no, be tolerant. Understand that others have their difficulties too. So I look at things a little differently and there's a little bit of humor, but with a lot of love. My motto is humanity. That I love mankind and I want to serve. So anybody having problems and all that can come to me or call me, write to me. Any more questions? So you don't have to be friends with everybody. No, you have to be in harmony. Because how can you be friends with there are some people that are so unpleasant, or perhaps they might even stink because they've not washed yourself. So you can't embrace them and kiss them. You don't have to be friends with everybody. You can be nice to everybody. Be kind. Because somebody that you want to be friends with has to be somebody that gets along well with you, and there's a reason. But this idea that you have to kiss everybody and be friends with everybody, and no, you'll not see me get angry.